Canadian Bulldog here from Wrestling Merchandise and Memories. That's merchandiseandmemories.com. And today we're counting down the top 50 wrestling factions. You might call them stables or groups or families. We're looking at groups of like-minded wrestlers that have driven some of the most significant storylines in wrestling over the past 30 plus years and added fuel to a lot of top rivalries. Now, just please note, to qualify, we're looking at groups that have had 4 or more competitors at the same time. So if you look at this and say, why aren't the Shield or the Fabulous Freebirds or the New Day on this list? That's why. Just before we get started, wanted to let you know that Wrestling Merchandise and Memories has more than 100 unique top 50 lists on its site. Everything from wrestling rivalries to tag teams to WrestleMania moments. Check it out at bit.ly/top 50 lists. Number 50, The Network. Fed up with a lack of promotion on TNN, ECW owner Paul Heyman did more than complain about it. He created The Network, a faction of pro-network anti-hardcore wrestlers led by Don Callis and including Steve Corino, Rhino, Tajiri, and Scotty Anton to raise hell against ECW's hardcore babyfaces. Number 49, Los Boricuas. Born out of the ashes of the original Nation of Domination, Savio Vega's Los Boricuas was a group of fighting Puerto Ricans, which included Miguel Perez, Jesus Castillo, and Jose Estrada. While never top contenders, they were staples of the WWF Gang War era in 1997. Number 48, Team Canada TNA. Originally formed as an entry in the 2004 X Cup, manager Scott D'Amore kept Team Canada in the promotion for years. The group gave us our first look at future TNA champions Bobby Roode and Eric Young, as well as Johnny Devine, Petey Williams, and Jack Evans. Number 47, Team Canada WCW. A few years before TNA's version, Lance Storm launched his own stable of Team Canada, which included Elix Skipper, Carl Ouellet, and Jacques Rougeau, as well as decidedly non-Canadians Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Mike Awesome, and Major Guns. Number 46, the Latino World Order. After Eddie Guerrero clashed with Eric Bischoff and tried to get out of his contract, he formed his own NWO parody group called the Latino World Order, whose members included Rey Mysterio Jr., Juventud Guerrera, Psychosis, La Parca, and El Dandy. Number 45, Imperium. Imperium was formed in 2016 in a German independent promotion and later joined NXT UK, NXT, and then WWE. Members have included Gunther, formerly Walter, Ludwig Kaiser, formerly Marcel Barthel, Giovanni Vinci, formerly Fabian Aichner, and Alexander Wolf. Number 44, the Dungeon of Doom. Dungeon of Doom was created in WCW in the mid-1990s as a macabre Plan 9 from outer space style faction of monster heels. Led by Kevin Sullivan and the Wizard, members included the Giant, Kamala, the Shark, the Zodiac, and Conan. Number 43, the Dark Order. The Dark Order debuted in AEW in 2019 with founding members Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, and have expanded and evolved over the years to include John Silver, Alex Reynolds, Mr. Brody Lee, Alan Angels, Colt Cabana, Anna Jay, and Preston Vance. Number 42, the Stud Stable. Robert Fuller created a faction in the Continental area in the early 1980s, which later traveled to Smoky Mountain and WCW. Members of the Stud Stable have included Fuller, Cactus Jack, Dutch Mantel, Bunkhouse Buck, Terry Funk, and the Blacktop Bully. Number 41, the UnAmericans. At the time of WWE's first brand split in 2002, Lance Storm began insinuating that the company discriminated against Canadians. He teamed with fellow Canucks Christian and Test to protest, and William Regal was soon added to the anti-American faction. Number 40, the Misfits in Action. In 2000, WCW created the Misfits in Action, a military-themed group of mid-carders who were given pun-tastic new names. Hugh Morris became General Hugh G. Rection, Chavo Guerrero was Lieutenant Loco, Van Hammer was Private Stash, Lash LaRue was Corporal Cajun, and Booker T was G.I. Bro. Number 39, the Disciples of the Apocalypse. Another offshoot of the Nation of Domination, Crush formed the Disciples of the Apocalypse, DOA, in 1997, which is a group of badass bikers including Brian Lee as Chains and the Harris Brothers as Skull and 8-Ball. Number 38, the Spirit Squad. While this group of male cheerleaders, Kenny, Johnny, Mitch, Mikey, and Nikki, weren't exactly at the top of the card, the Spirit Squad collectively held the World Tag Team titles for 216 days in 2006. Number 37, Raven's Nest / Flock. Raven's Nest was formed in ECW in 1995, in which members including Stevie Richards, the Pitbulls, and Cactus Jack blindly followed Raven. A few years later in WCW, Raven's Nest included Raven, Richards, Canyon, Billy Kidman, Lodi, Horace Hogan, and Perry Saturn. Number 36, the Right to Censor. Vince McMahon's public shot at right-wing lobby group the Parents Television Council, PTC, was the Right to Censor, RTC, which became the WWF's moral compass in 2000 and included Steven Richards, Val Venus, The Godfather as the Good Father, Bull Buchanan, and Ivory. Number 35, Jericho Appreciation Society. An offshoot of the Inner Circle, the Jericho Appreciation Society formed in 2022 and includes Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, Daniel Garcia, Ty Mello, and Anna JAS. Number 34, the Corporate Ministry. A 1999 merger of Vince McMahon's corporation and The Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness created the Corporate Ministry. Although it didn't last that long, the faction had many of WWF's top heels, including Triple H, the Big Boss Man, the Acolytes, and the Big Show. Number 33, the First Family. Jimmy Hart first assembled the First Family in Memphis in the late 1970s with members such as Eddie Gilbert, Andy Kaufman, Kamala, and King Kong Bundy. He resurrected the group later in WCW featuring Ming, the Barbarian, Brian Knobbs, and Hugh Morris, among others. Number 32, the $1 Million Corporation. When the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase returned to the WWF in 1994, he began a faction that included Nikolai Volkov, Bam Bam Bigelow, Tatanka, IRS, Kama, and King Kong Bundy. Later, the group featured Sid, the 123 Kid, and the Ringmaster. Number 31, the Varsity Club. In the late 1980s, Kevin Sullivan assembled the Varsity Club in the NWA, a group of collegiate wrestlers including Rick Steiner from Michigan, Mike Rotunda from Syracuse, Dr. Death Steve Williams, Oklahoma, and Dan Spivey from Georgia. They briefly reunited in WCW about a decade later. Number 30, the Filthy Animals. In 1999, WCW created a Dollar General version of D-Generation X known as the Filthy Animals. The group included at times Conan, Rey Mysterio Jr., Eddie Guerrero, Billy Kidman, Juventud Guerrera, and Disco Inferno, mixing high-flying wrestling with juvenile antics. Number 29, the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day was created in mid-2022 by Edge and included Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley as like-minded goth heels. Eventually, Finn Balor was invited to join, and the group then kicked out Edge and soon added Dominic Mysterio to reshape the faction. Number 28, the Cabinet. After John Bradshaw Layfield won the World Championship in 2004, he realized he would need backup to hang on to the title. Members of the Cabinet included Orlando Jordan and Doug and Danny Basham, who all eventually ended up winning gold as well. Number 27, the Wyatt Family. While most think of the Wyatts as a trio consisting of Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan, the cult-like faction also included Braun Strowman for a short period in 2015 when the four targeted The Undertaker. Randy Orton also joined the Wyatt family at one point. Number 26, Immortal. Much of the booking in TNA in 2010 led to the unveiling of Immortal on 10-10-10. a wide-ranging group consisting of most of the company's heels. While short-lived, the faction included Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, Jeff Hardy, Ric Flair, Abyss, Jeff Jarrett, Scott Steiner, and others. Number 25, the Main Event Mafia. The Main Event Mafia was formed in TNA in 2008 as a group of main eventers that had gone heel and were looking for respect. The original members included Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, Booker T, Scott Steiner, and Sting, with Samoa Joe and others later joining. Number 24, the McMahon-Helmsley Era. In 1999, an evil corporate version of D-Generation X was formed by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and was dubbed the McMahon-Helmsley Era. Other members included X-Pac, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn. Number 23, the Dudes with Attitude. One of the very first factions to attempt to counter Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen was the Dudes with Attitude in 1990. The group included Sting, Lex Luger, El Gigante, Rick and Scott Steiner, Paul Orndorff, the Junkyard Dog, and for some reason, preliminary wrestler Rocky King. Number 22, the Revolution/Radicalz. In 1999, Shane Douglas, Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, and Dean Malenko promised to shake things up as the Revolution, a heel faction in WCW. By early 2000, they joined forces with Eddie Guerrero and left Shane Douglas behind as the Radicalz, a group of outsiders that invaded the WWF en masse. Number 21, Blackpool Combat Club. Formed by William Regal in 2022, the Blackpool Combat Club was created as a way for Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson to get on the same page and become a group of badass competitors. The BCC soon expanded to include Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, while Regal left the faction. Number 20, Devastation Incorporated. General Skandor Akbar managed most of the heels that passed through World Class in the 1980s and 1990s under the name Devastation Inc. Members of the Revolving Door group over the years included Kamala, Dick Murdoch, King Kong Bundy, Abdullah the Butcher, Cactus Jack, and Steve Austin. Number 19, the Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era were formed in NXT in 2017 with Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly, their common thread being their backgrounds in Ring of Honor and elsewhere. They soon added member Roderick Strong and would go on to dominate the promotion for well over a year. Number 18, the Ministry of Darkness. Upon turning heel in 1998, The Undertaker adopted a new look, reunited with Paul Bearer, and assembled the Ministry of Darkness, a fearsome faction whose members included Bradshaw, Farouk, Midian, Viscera, Edge, Christian, and Gangrel. Number 17, the Inner Circle. The very first episode of AEW Dynamite in 2019 concluded with World Champion Chris Jericho introducing his associates, who would go on to terrorize the promotion for some time. The Inner Circle included Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz. Number 16, the Nexus. The Nexus was formed in 2010 following the first season of NXT, in which members Wade Barrett, David Otunga, Skip Sheffield, Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, Michael Tarvin, and briefly Daniel Bryan wreaked havoc over WWE for months. Number 15, Aces and Eights. Arguably the most effective faction in Impact Wrestling history, Aces and Eights were formed in 2012 and dominated the promotion for almost a year as fans tried to figure out who these Sons of Anarchy-style characters really were. Members included Bully Ray, Brother Devon, Mr. Anderson, Doc Gallows, Garrett Bischoff, and Wes Briscoe. Number 14, The Authority. A reboot of the corporation in many respects, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon launched The Authority in 2013 to show WWE what was best for business. Members included Randy Orton, Corporate Kane, Seth Rollins, The Big Show, and the New Age Outlaws. Number 13, the Nation of Domination. Formed in 1996 by Farouk, the Nation of Domination were a big part of Attitude Era WWF storylines. Members included Savio Vega, Crush, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry, The Godfather, Owen Hart, and The Rock. Number 12, the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club was formed in New Japan in 2013 as a faction of rebellious foreigners, which continues on to this day. Members over the years have included Prince Devitt, aka Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, the Young Bucks, Gallows and Anderson, and the Gorillas of Destiny. Number 11, the Elite. A spin-off of the aforementioned Bullet Club, the Elite were formed in 2016, traveling to New Japan, Ring of Honor, and eventually helping form All Elite Wrestling. Members have included Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Adam Page. Number 10, the Dangerous Alliance. Years before he was Paul Heyman, Paul E. Dangerously assembled an all-star cast of heels in WCW to topple Sting and other babyfaces. The group's members included ravishing Rick Rude, Larry Zbyszko, Arn Anderson, beautiful Bobby Eaton, and stunning Steve Austin. Number 9, the Alliance. Look, while the WCW-ECW invasion of 2001 isn't many people's favorite storyline, there's no denying that the Alliance was an impressive faction. Led by Shane and Stephanie McMahon, members included Booker T, Rob Van Dam, the Dudley Boys, Diamond Dallas Page, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 8, Evolution. A 2000s version of the Four Horsemen, Triple H created Evolution in 2003 with the purpose of protecting the game while also introducing new stars to WWE. In addition to Triple H and Ric Flair, the faction included future world champions Randy Orton and Batista. Number 7, the Hart Foundation. To bolster the heel turn of Bret Hart in early 1997, the WWF created the Hart Foundation, a group that included the Hitman's family members Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, Jim Neidhart, and family friend Brian Pillman. The group dominated WWF storylines for nearly a year. Number 6, the Heenan Family. For many years during the WWF's 1980s boom, Bobby the Brain Heenan terrorized the company's top heroes with the Heenan Family, a faction that included Andre the Giant, Hercules, Harley Race, Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy, Rick Rude, Paul Orndorff, the Brainbusters, and King Haku. Number 5, the Corporation. A huge part of the WWF's success in the late 1990s was based on Stone Cold Steve Austin's ability to stand up to Vince McMahon and his faction known as the Corporation. Members included The Rock, Triple H, Kane, Ken Shamrock, Big Boss Man, and his stooges Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. Number 4, the Bloodline. Towards the end of the first year of Roman Reigns' historic WWE Championship run, he and special counsel Paul Heyman recruited NOIE family members Jimmy and Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa to form one of the most dominant groups in recent memory. Sami Zayn was briefly a member as well. Number 3, D-Generation X. When Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Chyna joined forces in 1997 as D-Generation X, they effectively ushered in what would be known as the Attitude Era. Along with members including Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac, DX became known for thumbing their nose at authority. Number 2, the Four Horsemen. Easily the most emulated wrestling faction in history. The Four Horsemen became known as the prototype for creating a group of talented, charismatic, and ruthless heels. Over the year, members have included Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard, J.J. Dillon, Lex Luger, Barry Windham, Sid Vicious, Chris Benoit, and Brian Pillman. And the number 1 wrestling faction, the New World Order. The New World Order had a massive impact, not only on WCW, but all of wrestling. Formed by Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, the group expanded over the years and in different incarnations to include Randy Savage, The Giant, Conan, Eric Bischoff, Syxx, Scott Steiner, Lex Luger, and dozens of others. What did you think of our list? Did you agree? Disagree? Leave us your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to check out merchandiseandmemories.com for more than 100 unique top 50 lists and so much more.